Now, cleaning your home can be a challenge, especially if you have pets like I do. We have 4 Pomeranians running all through our house, and yeah, sometimes they leave some of these around. This is 3D printed poop that we printed just because we want to do a test. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new robot. This robot is the Roborock S7 maxv. That is a combination both vacuum and mop, and it has what I would say very intelligent AI, if not one of the smartest AI that we've seen. And in today's test, we're going to see, is it smart enough to avoid, dog poop? Let's go and check it out. Now, the Roborock is one of the smartest vacuums that we've reviewed on the channel. It has a combination of vacuum and mop that as it's vacuuming, it is actually mopping the floor using this vibration pad that's going to vibrate at a rate of 3,000 vibrations, right, as it's going in cleaning. Now, this robot also has a self-emptying station. It has a self-water refill station, so it basically fills itself up with water. It goes out to clean your floor. As it's sweeping your floor, it is vibrating and moving around, scrubbing your floor, and then it's also avoiding things like this. It's doing that all in this small package. It has 7 weeks of debris containment. So as it goes back and it empties itself out, you don't have to touch this thing for 7 weeks. And then the water tank is going to be able to cover 3,230 square feet in one mopping. That's incredible. Now, from a suction perspective, if you're worried about how much can it pick up, well, this is a smart vac that's going to know the difference between hardwood floors and also carpet. It has a 5,100 PA suction power. Now, we talked about how it's self-cleaning. Well, it does have a clean water tank and it has a dirty water tank. So as it's going back to the station, it basically refills itself and then also cleans off the pads. So it's not going to go back with a dirty mop per se. It's just cleaning it off and then cleaning it up automatically for you. So that's going to be really good. In addition to that is once this is done, not only has it cleaned its pads, but it's also cleaned itself so that there isn't any debris left in any of the trays as it's doing the cleaning. Now, the thing that really floors me about this robot, and we've put it through a lot of tests, is the fact that it has this reactive AI. And the navigation is really good. It is able to literally not just avoid, but it also identifies, which is also kind of crazy. Because as it's driving around the floor, it sees a shoe. It not just reacts and doesn't bump into the shoe, but it actually flags it and says, I saw a shoe. If it sees pets, and guess what? I did test this. When it sees poop, it says it saw poop and it avoids it. It actually passed our test. I placed several of these 3D printed poop prints throughout the floor to see if it would avoid it and it would recognize it, and it absolutely did. Oh, by the way, it also recognizes people and living pets too, so that's really good. Now, as we said, it does have carpet detection. It has multi-floor mapping, and then one of the things that I love the most about this, and I haven't seen this in another robot, is that it does one-click cleaning. So we're able to highlight specific areas of our home, specifically like our entryway that's a high-traffic area, and then I'm able to have that high-traffic area cleaned with a single click. That's all I do. Just tap the button and it goes into the entryway, cleans it up, and it doesn't have to do the whole house. I find that amazing. Now, if that wasn't enough, it also has a video system, like a surveillance system, that it's actually as it's navigating, it could actually show you everything that's going on in your house. You can have conversations with your pets. If you want to talk to your kids, you can do that too. And the actual camera system, which is combined with the LiDAR, is what gives you that mapping technology that we were talking about, literally, even 3D maps. And the cool thing about this is that as the robot is navigating, if it can't see something, check this out. It has a flashlight. And I literally see the thing lighting up the flashlight to see better. Who would have thought? So let's take a closer look at this robot in action. And if you're asking yourself, is this a buy? Yes, it is. Definitely a buy. Now, the S7 Max Ultra docking station is a really cool looking docking station, but all of its components are exposed. They really took a different approach to how their docking station looks. Some of the other robots that we've looked at, the docking station hides all the containers that you see right there at the top. These are all exposed, and we're going to go and look at each one of these. We're also going to look at the robot itself, as well as kind of like the ramp that it has and the cleaning solution that it goes through. So the first thing, as you start taking a look at the robot, you'll notice that the robot does have a little ramp area that as it goes back into this docking station, a couple things are going to happen. First, it's going to go ahead and clean itself. It's going to also refill the water tank so that it can go out and clean your floor. And by the way, it doesn't have to go back and forth that often. It's very efficient when it comes to water, but you can also calibrate how much water is being placed on your floor. Now, let's go ahead and move the robot and we'll take a closer look. Now, the front of the robot is packed with technology. It has LiDAR, it has an RGB camera, and then it also has a light, and the light itself helps it see. So it literally turns on a flashlight and lights the area to make sure it can see. Now, this is the type of robot that doesn't really bump into things, which is something that I really like. So it kind of hovers against the walls, and actually as it's getting close to furniture, I haven't really seen it crash into anything, which I really like. Now, you do have 3 buttons here at the very top. I really don't use these. You use them at the very beginning to power it up, but there's a home function as well as a power function and a spot function. I really don't use those, but they're there if you need them. Pretty much, you won't do anything with this once you set it up because there's no cleaning, there's no changing of anything, except maybe the pads over time. Now, in the back of the area, you do have this compartment that opens up, but you won't go into this. This is where you're going to find your dustbin, and it will clean itself. Over time, you'll want to change the actual filter, but you don't have to worry about anything getting into your home when it comes to, as it's picking up any kind of dust or debris and it just spewing it out. Now, in the back here, you have your water tank that you can remove, but the cool thing about this is that you won't touch this either because the docking station is going to take care of that for you. Now, this is the area where all the magic happens. Once the robot comes into the docking station, comes up this tray, it's going to clean itself, it's going to empty itself, it's going to vacuum out all of the debris that it has. This is the most, I would say, the easiest robot that we've had where there's really no maintenance. And you end up using them a lot more when you don't have to worry about doing those things. So this little area right here is basically going to, it's like a brush that's going to go back and forth, and it's going to clean the actual mop. And pretty much it's a maintenance-free type solution because, as you can see here, this is pretty clean, right? So it cleans not just the robot mop, but it also cleans this area too. Now, for those of you who are curious about what the bottom of the robot looks like, here we have the actual cleaning for the dust. And again, we have 4 Pomeranians. This has been running now for a month, and you'll notice there's no hair cut here at all. Nothing is caught here. It's nice and clean. And then this is the actual mop head, if you want to call it that. But this towel, notice how clean this is, and that's due to how well that guy right there is doing the cleaning. So this makes this product last a lot longer. And then the other thing is, the other robots that I've had that don't have self-cleaning, this gets smelly. It gets also, and you don't want this going over your floor, especially if it's smelly, because it kind of like leaves that scent. So the nice thing about this, it doesn't smell, it's nice and clean, it almost looks new. Now, at the very top, you have these 3 bins, right? So this is going to be your clean water. You can see by that symbol. You then have this one right here, which is your dirty water. And we'll lift this up. They're not really large, right, at all, but it doesn't require a lot of water to actually clean your home. This is going to cover 3,200 square feet. Then this is your dirty water container, right? And you know, they have these little areas that you can open up if you like to see what's inside. I'll go ahead and open it up so you can see it. It's not going to have a lot of dirt in here, so we'll go ahead and check it out. But you can see that that's the dirty water, and what we do is we just empty that out. This is the clean water. Pop that open. You can see that's the clean water. Just got to make sure that that's full. And then this is going to be the area that's going to cover your dustbin. So this is going to have any of this dust that you see on the floor that we just laid there for this test. It's going to take care of that. Now, the next thing I wanted to cover is what our test is going to include. So you can see I have mixed floors, right? So I have hardwood floor going into tile, and then we have our strategically placed fake 3D poop. We're going to want to see if the robot will catch it. As we go through, I have another obstacle here. I have some sandals. We're going to see if it catches that. Oh, more 3D poop. And then you notice that there's some dirt here. That's real dirt, guys. That's not fake dirt. I actually had to convince Nilda, which drove her crazy, not to clean the floor. I wanted to get this really scuffed up because this is kind of like our primary entryway, and it's important that we have kind of like a sample so we can show you what you can expect. So this is where everybody walks in. You can see my shadow here, you know, covering everything that you'll see. And then the expectation is that it's going to clean all this stuff up, right? And we actually have a 1-button routine where we have the robot clean this every single day. And we do this because this is the most trafficked
part of our home, especially as people are coming in and out. So we're going to see how well it does cleaning all this up. Now that you've seen the terrain that we're going to cover, we're going to start the robot. And one of the cool things about the app is that it has these zones that you can establish. So what we're going to do is, you'll notice I have 3 zones. I have a center area, which is the main viewing area where we sit down and watch some TV, and we have the dogs always sitting on the floor, laying on the floor. And it's kind of a high trafficked area. You know, you've seen it in a lot of my reviews. And then what I have is the entryway, and I've checked or been playing with the entryway mapping just to see how it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the entryway, and I want to show you what happens. Now the first thing that the robot's going to do is it's going to get out of the docking station, and then it's going to return and then get the mop and fluids tank loaded. Now this is probably one of the slowest parts. I wish it was a little bit faster. But hey, when this is doing it on its own and you don't have to worry about doing any kind of cleaning, it really doesn't matter. So now that brush is actually going through, it's actually cleaning the mop, right? And it's taking care of refilling the tank at the same time. So we'll refill the tank once it's done cleaning the mop. So that was a little bit over a 2-minute process to get that going, right? And now we're going to see the robot is going to go to the area that it's supposed to go to start cleaning, and that's going to be our entryway. So we're going to just follow it and see how well it does when it comes to seeing or avoiding the poop. So this is the defined area that it's supposed to clean, and you can see how it's already started moistening the floor. You can see how it's right there, and then you can see it's going by the door. It's avoided the poop. Well, there's another poop trap there, and it's still hugging the sides. Notice no real bumping against the walls. So you can see how it's just going through all the different sides. And since I've already mapped this before, it knows that there's furniture there. So that's why it's kind of like navigating so nicely, because once it did its first scan, it knows what to do. Notice the flashlight turned on because it's trying to see what it has to see, and it's picking up some debris. Isn't that cool? And the flashlight's off. So in the meantime, what we're looking for is these little icons that are popping up on the screen. And what we'll do is we'll tap on one of them so you can see what it found. So basically it recognized something that's there. It recognized some shoes. And if we click on this other one that's over here, you'll notice that it also recognized some shoes. So there it's going to run into some shoes again. And it's probably going to recognize it too. And we're going to see if it recognizes the poop in a couple seconds. There should be a little icon that will pop up letting us know that there's something there. All right, and you can see how it's stopping and it's working its way around things. And you can see it also how it's seeing it on the map too. And it's going to work its way around and back things up. It's crazy how precise this thing is. Isn't that crazy? Let's get a higher view. And you can see we'll go ahead and tap on that icon. Oh, and look at there. It identified the poop. So it basically saw that poop. We'll do it one more time. And it avoided it. And notice that says pet waste. And it has a 90% accuracy. So guess what, guys? It avoids poop. Absolutely love it. Isn't that cool? All right, it continues to avoid the poop. Oh, it's just going to go back over there because it's doing the centers. Stops. Avoids the poop. Cleans around it. And then it keeps on going. Poop test passed again. So cool. All right, so now we're going to see how it does with that dirt that's right there. We actually bring in some of the e-bikes that we're testing, and they leave a lot of dirt around. So we're going to see how well it does picking that up. Let's see how there's some marks there. So see if that vibration tech that has in its mop head cleans it up. And you can see how nice the distribution of water is on the floor. Still needs to get on that side right there a little bit. We'll see how it does right there. All right, so we're going to see that mark on the floor, see if it gets gone. And it's gone. Oh my God. All right, so now the robot's finished cleaning. That spot right there, we'll get a little closer. It missed, didn't really get a good cleaning there, but that was the only thing. As we return to the actual app and we zoom in, you notice all the areas that it covered. You can see that it identified pet waste, it identified shoes, it worked away around all the pet waste. It identified again some gym shoes that we have here on the floor, took some pictures to it, and you can see how it's right now going back to its docking station, and it will clean itself. And that's all you have to do is really just pick up the dirty water. So we'll go ahead and follow it back. And we can see how it's going back now. So all in all, really great experience.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.